I declare the celebration open.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome on this very beautiful sunny day. I'm Laura Green. I'm Pro-Vice-Chancellor and Head of the College of Life and Environmental Sciences, and I'm delighted to welcome you to the Class of 2020 celebrations of achievements at Birmingham. Graduates, this is not a normal degree ceremony, and it's not taking place at a normal time, but these have not been normal times. The global pandemic has impacted on all of our lives in ways that we could never have imagined 18 months ago. You will all have your own memories of how you felt in the spring and summer of 2020 as our vibrant campus community moved almost entirely online. It was not the conclusion to your degrees that you wanted, and it certainly wasn't the conclusion to your degrees that we wanted. Yet, in the most challenging of circumstances, you showed that resilience and ingenuity, tenacity that represents the best in Birmingham students and Birmingham graduates. You adapted, you persevered, and you graduated with our esteem and admiration. Whether you completed an undergraduate, postgraduate, or research degree, I trust that you look back with fondness of your years with us at Birmingham. We are proud of your achievements, and I'm sure that you and your friends and families here with you today are proud of them too. Graduations are a defining moment in the university calendar, and your graduation was a defining moment in your life. We celebrated your graduation virtually in the summer of 2020 and always remained committed to bringing you back to this campus for a true graduation experience in real life. It's a moment that we as a university could not let pass without the celebration and recognition that you all deserve. We are only one of a few universities holding any kind of graduation celebration on campus for 2020 graduates, and the events and activities we are hosting today demonstrate the value that we place on you and your achievements. We hope that you will enjoy this opportunity to be reunited with each other, to put on your robes, share your successes with family and friends, and to recognise and reflect on your achievements during your degree and since you've graduated. This may not be a normal graduation ceremony, but this has certainly not been a normal 18 months. During the pandemic, the university community stepped up and played its part in the nation's response to the crisis. Our researchers have developed new tests to help diagnose COVID, new medical interventions to help those suffering from it, and have contributed to understanding of COVID so we might better deal with it and similar pandemics in future. Many of you supported vulnerable members of the community when you were students in Selly Oak and in your own communities further afield, distributing food and medicine to those most in need, volunteering in hospitals, helping neighbours. The student response to the pandemic that you started in 2020 has continued, and we remain ever grateful and ever in awe of the way in which our students continue to support their communities and each other. So you're extraordinary people, and we are here to celebrate your achievements today. You came to the University of Birmingham because you wanted to come to a great place of learning. You wanted to test yourself. You wanted to equip yourself for the next phase of your life. You stand here today having overcome many barriers and already begun your postgraduate journey, and we are sure it will be a rich and fulfilling life. The degree celebrations in the Green Heart this year are a first in what is a university of firsts. This was the first campus university, the first to incorporate a medical school, to allow women to take medical degrees, and to create a women's hall of residence. Most recently, we were the first university to open a secondary school and to establish a Pillar 2 testing laboratory for COVID-19. Perhaps your degree represents a first for you. Let me particularly congratulate those of you who were the first in your family to graduate. Others will be the first to study in this country or maybe to achieve a postgraduate qualification. Some of you will have been the first to make a particular discovery in your research. You were all among the first to graduate through a global pandemic and to take your next steps of employment or further study as that pandemic continued to affect the world. You've each overcome challenges that other graduates have not faced before and have stories of what that means for you. Today is, after all, a day to tell stories, the individual stories of each of you the graduates of all ages, backgrounds, and nationalities who have animated this great university. Each of you gathered here represent an individual chapter written into the history of the university. All of you have your own unique and personal story of what it took for you to complete your degree and the challenges you faced. Each of you can feel extraordinarily proud of what you have accomplished. Graduates, today you are a mixture of medical, life, and environmental scientists. With the events of COVID and the all too recent events around climate change that are becoming increasingly obvious, your skills are exceedingly important to secure all of our futures, supporting the physical and mental health of individuals and society, and finding solutions and mitigations for the global impacts of climate change to people and society, from environments to creating new vaccines, improving air quality and flood defences. All of these things are critical to our futures, and we are relying on you to help us make sure that we create a good future for everybody. For most of you, last summer marked the end of one kind of relationship with the university and the start of a new one. You've now spent more than a year as a member of a distinguished family, a family with over 300,000 members in more than 170 countries around the world, the alumni of the University of Birmingham. Our alumni engage in an astonishing array of projects and professions, and we look forward to seeing your own achievements and successes being added to the list of our alumni in years to come. You and all of those with you today have many reasons to be proud. We share in that pride and in that spirit of pride and of accomplishment. I now hand over to Aliyah Sims to continue the celebration event.
Hello and welcome everyone. I am honoured to be standing here in a fancy gown and medal speaking to you as a Guild representative. To introduce myself, I am Aliyah Sims. I am this year's Welfare and Community Officer. I studied law, so I have a lot of experience reading the terms and conditions you all tend to ignore. In full admittance, I have not yet graduated, so I look to you for inspiration, as individuals who have looked every summative, MCT and 3 AM last-minute submission in the eye and survived. You are living proof that it can be done. I've got some notes for this speech, and in big letters is my first point. Degrees are hard. I'm sure I don't need to elaborate on that point, but I would like to give a moment of silence for everyone who has taken a leave of absence on a different journey than they first anticipated, feels conflicted about their outcome, who have struggled in the process in any way. I would like to say that we are also very proud of you who have struggled and for your perseverance and dedication even when you had little faith in yourselves. I hope standing here now in this very hot tent shakes off any residual doubt or imposter syndrome. You have made it and you have climbed that metaphorical mountain. The second note is, woohoo! You did it! This year and the last have been littered with turbulence and events we never could have anticipated. Yet, amidst it all, you've managed to attain a huge attainment. I want to take you back to your first year, when you came onto campus, brimming with excitement or anticipation, sweating more than me in this gown, with heavy backpacks laden with laptops and every pen W.H. Smith stocked, smashing the loan on textbooks that only got used during exam week, the £1 dominoes at the freshers' fair and the dig-in boxes in your accommodations. Perhaps being here on campus was the moment it hit home for you that you were in the next stage of your life. For others, maybe it was the first seminar when no one spoke. I'm sure then the mixture of emotions that you felt was palpably intense, and I'm sure you feel the same now, even though it has been a year. Excitement, anticipation, and joy as you enter the next step of your lives, until you realise that taxes and inflation only increase from here on up. I wonder if you still are friends with those you met in those valuable and vulnerable first moments at university. If so, good job. Or if, like me, you never saw them again. Perhaps some of them are here. If so, hello, add me on Facebook. I'm sure you've made plenty of friends along the way. And even if not, you're lucky, as you all have a good few years in you yet to make more. It's normal to harbour fear towards the unknown, but even with the uncertainty surrounding the new way of life and jobs being increasingly competitive, I am pleased to say that graduates still earn more on average than their counterparts without a degree. That's very good news if you're like me and have maxed out your student and postgraduate overdraft. I hope you look back at your time here at the University of Birmingham amongst your peers with much fondness. Taking part in Danger Fabs, having a good time at Circo and the Goose, hearing the bong of old Joe while taking your late night Dixies home. We remember you dearly, yes, even you. And As our alumni, you will continue to be the next generation of successful and innovative individuals, and we cannot wait to see what brilliant things you are sure to accomplish. No pressure. When I was frantically Googling how to write a decent speech, plenty of suggestions came up. This is my first foray into public speaking, so if I've made it this far and a single joke has landed, I will leave here smiling. One of the suggestions was to finish on a memorable and entertaining quotes from well-known figures. In the words of our current Prime Minister Boris Johnson in 2004, speaking to The Independent, "My chances of being PM are about as good as the chances of finding Elvis on Mars or me being reincarnated as an olive." After 3 years of developing my analytical skills alongside the unpredictable events of coronavirus, I believe this quote shows that truly anything can happen. The moral of my speech I want to leave you with is this. Continue to use the unbridled chaos and random chance that life holds to your advantage. Let it continue to drive you to your next goal, whatever that may be. You've all certainly done that the last few years. In the words of Del Boy, he who dares wins. Thank you, and all my love from the Guild of Students. Aaliyah.
Oh dear, I have to follow that. That was rather good for a very first speech, wasn't it? Aaliyah, that was terrific. Thank you so much. You can tell that she's a University of Birmingham student. That's what they're like. They're brilliant, they're witty, they're confident, and they're full of insight. I'll try to follow it. Good morning to you all. I'm Robin Mason, and as Pro-Vice Chancellor of the University of Birmingham, it's a real pleasure to join you today. I think probably the hottest day of the year. To join you today at this celebration event. And I'd like just to start it, actually. Family and friends, those who are not graduates celebrating today, will you join me and give a round of applause to the fantastic graduates that we have here? But you know what's coming next, graduates. You wouldn't be standing here were it not for the support of your family and friends. So could I ask you, in turn, to give your thanks to everybody who's supported you through your studies? So, as we gather to mark your achievements during your time at the University of Birmingham, let me do a little bit of what Aaliyah was saying. Cast your mind back, if you can, to how you felt on your very first day here. How nervous you might have been if like me, you were the first person in your family to university, you didn't have a clue what was coming. Others may have taken to it like a duck to water, completely in their stride. But then fast forward to today and think about the person you are today and what has shaped you between your first day at the university and the celebration today. Think about the new people who you've met. Think about the new ideas that you've encountered and developed yourself. Think about some of the challenges you've overcome, just a few. Think about some of the opportunities that you've seized and enjoyed. And in all of that, think about how much you've changed, how you're a different person today than you were 3-4 years ago. And often, actually, it's quite difficult, isn't it, to recognize that in yourself. So it may be that your family and friends can help you later as you're celebrating more, just to reflect on everything that shaped you, so that you've become the person who you are today. And that person is an alumnus or an alumna of the University of Birmingham. All that hard work has paid off. You now stand before us as accomplished scholars. You're graduates of this university. Some of you may already be professionals. Some of you may be educators. Some of you may be researchers. Whatever path you've taken since graduating, it's a real achievement, and we're absolutely delighted that we've had the opportunity, and not many universities have been able to do this, to welcome you back face to face and offer you our congratulations for all that you've achieved. And this, you'll know, I'm sure, but let me just make it clear. This is the highlight of the year for us at the university. This is the best part of the jobs that we do, being able to share this moment with you as graduates, to congratulate you and to see how much joy the day brings for you, for your family and your friends. Because the heart of every great university is its students and its alumni. And I'll let you into a secret. We bask in your success, you see. So as you go to do great things, that reflects on us as a university. So we're immensely proud of you, and I hope, of course, that you are as proud of yourself as we are of you. Now, you are the graduating cohort who's encountered one of the most difficult job markets in living memory. Some of you will have been fortunate enough that you've already managed to enter your chosen profession, so many congratulations to you. Some of you have yet to do so, and the message there is simple, and I know you won't do this, but do not lose heart. Remember, you're a Birmingham graduate. Remember that a degree from this university is not easily obtained. Remember that it's valued by the country's top employers, who recognize that the students and graduates from this university have, yes, an outstanding education, but also intellectual curiosity, confidence, knowledge, humility, and the skills required then to thrive in your careers, and this is important, and I'll be coming back to it in a moment, to make a difference in the world. You're already high achievers. You've graduated from this university, which is no mean feat. We know how hard it is to obtain a degree from the University of Birmingham. So you have already achieved a huge amount. There will no doubt be challenges ahead. There will sometimes be setbacks, but we have absolutely no doubt that you'll make a success of any task that you set yourselves. And that's because as Birmingham graduates, you join the family that's always been characterized by perseverance, tenacity, personal resilience. And boy, have you had to prove that in this graduating year, in the graduating class of 2020. Like never before, you've demonstrated that. And there's an important point there, that it's not because you graduated during a pandemic that you have come to be tenacious, have personal resilience and show perseverance. In coming to the University of Birmingham, we select our students so that they are like that. And it's those characteristics that meant that you've come through whatever personal challenges that you might have faced. You might have recovered from COVID yourself. You might have spent periods self-isolating. You might have had to have taken a break from your studies, coping with difficult studying conditions, even taking on extra caring responsibilities. And some of you, I hope not many, but some of you will have experienced the sadness of personal loss of family and friends to COVID. You'll know the ways in which the pandemic has affected you personally, and you should draw immense pride from all that you've accomplished in the face of that adversity. And that's a lesson for you for the rest of your life. That is your character, that is who you are, and it is a real strength for you. It's already seen you through uncertain and difficult times. Whatever you face in the future, you will get through it and succeed because you are a University of Birmingham graduate. Now, you've gone into a world that needs you more than ever. It needs that combination of character, of skills, of ability, of commitment that characterizes you. The university's motto speaks of this. Per ardua ad alta. If you can dust off your rusty Latin, that means through great efforts to high things. Your great efforts have already brought you to high and great things. Here you are today as a graduate. We're certain that your future efforts will take you to even greater heights. And in doing so, you'll be following a long and proud tradition of this university. It was founded in 1900 by Joseph Chamberlain with a clear vision of changing, at that point it was just the city of Birmingham, and the lives of those living within it for the better. Over 120 years later, that's still our vision. We want to serve the benefit of the city and everyone within it. We've become rather larger as a university. Our vision has expanded, so we now serve for the benefit not just of the city, not just of the region, but for the country and also globally, as Laura was saying earlier. And all of that actually was founded 120 years ago by the generous gifts of time and other things of philanthropists, including actually Andrew Carnegie, the famous American industrialist, who helped fund Old Joe, our clock tower. You'll be getting your pictures taken underneath there later, won't you? More than 100 years later, we're continuing to fulfill that vision. And our latest version of that is the Birmingham in Action campaign. It's an ambitious and innovative campaign that's doing two things. First, offering life-changing opportunities for young people, regardless of their background, so that in future, even if you come from a family as I did, I studied through school and university thanks to the generosity of others, even if you come from a family that has no experience of university, you can still have access to the outstanding education here at the University of Birmingham. And the campaign is also supporting a broad range of groundbreaking research projects to transform the world for future generations. So I hope now that as alumni of the university, that's a campaign that you can be proud of, and it's a campaign that you can be part of. And in doing that, you'll help to continue to change the lives of future generations, students who study at the university, and society benefiting from the groundbreaking research that we do here. So, wherever you find yourself in the world, you'll always be part of the Birmingham family. We certainly hope to see you again in the future, whether that's for further study, whether it's because you volunteer to mentor a student. Students really appreciate that, and some of you may have benefited from a mentor during your time. Whether it's just because you come to an event at the university, or you just come to meet old friends and enjoy the campus as we are today. Whatever you do, know that we will be here to provide you with advice, to support you, and to celebrate with you as your lives and careers develop. The last thing I'd like to do, you'll be pleased to hear that the end is nigh. The last thing that I'd like to do is to say a huge thanks to all of you as graduates. You may not know it, but you have left your mark on this university. The university simply wouldn't exist were it not for its remarkable students and alumni. So I want to thank you on behalf of the university for the contribution that you've made to this institution, for the mark that you've made on it, and for the legacy that you've left for future generations. And part of what we're doing today is celebrating your graduation, but also thanking you for your contribution to the university. As you continue to your next chapter, I wish each of you every success. I trust that your experiences at the University of Birmingham will continue to shape your lives, and we very much look forward to seeing you succeed and thrive, whatever the paths you take. So now all that remains for me to do is to declare this celebration closed.